Right before we jump into this video, if you haven't signed up for the FroKnowsPhoto email list, just look for this orange box over on the website, put your name, email address in it, and I'll send you a free guide to capturing motion in low light situations. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and I don't crop. Now I know this isn't a popular statement, but please bear with me as I take you on a journey to a time when I did crop and how one cropped image and a statement made by my high school photography teacher changed how I captured images from that point on. Now let me clear up one thing before I go much further. Not cropping is my personal preference. There's plenty of photographers who rely heavily on cropping and others who use subtle crops to make the image better in their eyes. Like I said, it's all personal preference. But I do aim to clear up my reasons for why I don't crop, and maybe something I say will resonate with you. The year 1997. I'm in 11th grade photography class. I'm shooting with a Nikon N90S with a two-touch Nikon 80-200 2.8, and I think I'm hot shit. Now, I know not much has changed because I'm still hot shit today. The truth is, I was an aperture priority relying f2.8 shooting, fast shutter speed using freeze the action only photographer. Back in high school, I only cared about shooting sports. I also had no clue how to shoot in full manual, and no matter what my teacher tried to tell me, I was still using aperture priority. So here's what happened. After school one day, I was shooting a baseball game. Now keep in mind, I was shooting film and my longest lens was an 80-200 2.8. There was a play at second base where the runner dives headfirst back towards the bag and is tagged out. Now I got it. I knew I got the shot. Now, mind you, this is film, so I didn't really know if I got the shot for sure, but I thought I was focused right on the second baseman laying down the tag and that this was going to be a great portfolio image. Jump to a few days later when I'm in the darkroom preparing the negative to print. Remember when I said my longest lens was the 80-200? Well, that's super short for plays at second base. Well, at the time I said to myself, I'll just crop it later in the darkroom. Now here I am in the darkroom raising the enlarger until I can't raise it anymore. And the diving runner is filling an 8x10 piece of paper with perfect composition. I'm thinking I did it. I got this awesome shot as I exposed the photo paper to the light. I drop it in the developer, then stop bath, fixer, and finally the water wash. I look down at what was supposed to be this amazing portfolio shot, only to see a gray, grainy, not sharp mess of an image, and I didn't know why. I showed my teacher the print, and he said something that has stuck with me since I was 15.
Crop in the camera, not in the darkroom.
He explained as you raise the enlarger,
you're going to lose quality the more you blow it up. And so you got to get it as tight as you can right from the beginning.
Before that statement, I always thought I could simply fix it in post, but I was wrong. From that point on, I would repeat crop in the camera, not in the darkroom, to myself on all photo shoots. I started to fill the frame more. I started to move my feet when I ran out of zoom. I started to live by never cropping. I can hear the comments now. But Jared, with digital, you can get away with cropping your image. Well, in 2003, when I got the 4.1 megapixel D2H, you couldn't. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but think about it. If you crop half the image, you just turned a 4.1 megapixel image into a 2 megapixel image and simply enlarged the imperfections of the shot. Just like raising the enlarger with a film negative and losing quality, the same thing happens with digital. Crop in the camera, not in the darkroom.
Crop in the camera, not in the dark. Crop in the camera, crop in the camera, crop in the camera, crop in the
That saying still held up even in the digital world of 2003. But what about in 2019, where just about all digital cameras have 24 megapixels or more? Can you get away with cropping today without losing much quality? The answer? Yes. Yes, you can crop a hell of a lot more today without losing quality or having anyone even know that the image is cropped. So then if I have the ability to crop without hurting the image quality too much, why don't I do it? Simple. I don't want to second guess the composition of every single image I capture. I don't want to sit there in Lightroom and fret over the perfect post crop. This is what I mean by this is my personal choice. My choosing not to crop doesn't mean I'm telling you not to. but here's what I'll tell you. I sometimes open up the crop tool in Lightroom to see how a crop would affect my image. Now, I don't actually go through with it, but I take a mental picture of what I could have done differently and try to learn from it for future photos. Now, I know there's a million different reasons why one would crop an image. The lines may be skewed, the background might be too busy, or simply you were just too far away. But I do have a word of warning. If you're going to crop, make sure your crop does not alter the image in such a way that it becomes misleading, aka changing the context of the image to the point where it misleads the viewer. Like you cut something out that should have been there that says one thing, but it really meant something else. Look, cropping is fine, like I said. It's personal preference, and I choose to live by not doing it for the reasons I mentioned above. But if you find yourself saying something like, I'll just crop it later, maybe you should challenge yourself to crop in the camera and not in the darkroom. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and comment down below. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.